Welcome, It's This Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Schwartz, and today, very excited. It's our first four-person podcast, and that's because, living in Florida, we've got Miami Heat fans abound down here, so we're going to be doing conference finals today. Just a note, we are recording on Sunday, which means since the Clippers can't win their last game against the Nuggets, we're just going to assume the Clippers are going to win. However, if they don't, then just ignore the second half of this podcast and know the Lakers will wax the Nuggets in 4 games. Coming up later on. But today joining me, of course, is Salvador Corona, because how could he not? Sal, how you doing?
Of course, I'm good. I'm glad to be back again for another NBA Potter.
We have half NBA fan, Oscar Buddy Cordero over here. Buddy, how you doing?
Yes, sir. Second Potter.
And Eric, I don't know your last name.
Castaneda.
There we go.
With the N on the end.
I am not gonna be able to say that as I'm white, so we're just gonna go with that. And you are joining us as well as a Miami Heat fan and big NBA fan, right? Former college player, if I'm correct, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, 2 years ago retired.
There you go.
Knees gave out on me. I'm done.
Well, some of these NBA players are just like you in that way. Anyway, I mean, Andre Iguodala's knees, I think, kind of collapsed.
I mean, Kawhi Leonard taking breaks every 2 weeks. So.
It's true. Original load management there. So yeah, let's talk about your guys' Heat. They destroyed Milwaukee. Sal, you were one that did predict that. I don't know if you had the 5-game prediction. I didn't listen, but
no, I don't think I said a specific how many games we were gonna get it done. But after watching them play the Magic, I knew it was gonna be that the Heat were gonna. Especially after I watched the Heat play the Pacers, I'm like, okay, they're built to beat the Bucks. And many people, even Heat fans, they didn't think that was going to happen. They're like, oh, yeah, that'll be a good fight, but it's like the number 1 team in the league. There's no way the Heat beat this team, but I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, and you were right for sure. What did you think with the fact of being a fan? Did you think they'd pull it off that easy?
I'll be honest. I remember telling Sal, Heat will not win this series. I thought it was going to go maybe 6 games, 4-2 Bucks. But honestly, I think it's the coach's fault if we're talking about why this occurred.
Coach Bud, you mean, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Giannis was only playing about 33 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. If you look at all the other stars, they're playing about 40 minutes a game. So
yeah,
when you have a star like Giannis, you got to play him way more.
I didn't even know that. I watched the games, but I didn't know like the breakdown of the minutes. That's crazy. He was only getting them.
That's a problem because it's like, okay, yeah, how many, he plays 7 more minutes a game. What does that mean? But that's 30-something minutes over the series of not playing, I don't even know, like DiVincenzo for Milwaukee or something like that. Like, those are huge minutes. And, I mean, it's tough because I think Miami really did earn it, obviously. Like, you don't win in 5 games against the number 1 seed without being awesome. But also,
they earned it for sure.
Very self-inflicted from Milwaukee. And they're also keeping Coach Bud, I believe, already.
Yeah, they said they will. Which I was telling, I don't know if I told you, I definitely told Eric that Mike Budenholzer was the coach for the Atlanta Hawks. I forget what year it was when they were first in the Eastern Conference and they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they lost to I believe the Cavs. But he's had teams like this that are great in the regular season or make it to the end of the Eastern Conference and just don't know how to win, like make it to the finals. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're keeping him next year, right?
Yeah,
for Giannis's last year.
And actually, Giannis was only averaging 31 minutes a game.
Oh, even worse. Yeah, that's rough.
It's 17 minutes off the court.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Especially in a game 5. Like, what are you doing? You got to put him in.
I mean, he did have an injury, but not game 1. When did his injury happen?
Game
3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah, because they won the game without him. They won game 4, right?
Yeah. They won the game without him.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was right around game 4. Yeah, I mean, it just. It doesn't make much sense. Is Giannis actually the best player in the NBA? I wanted to ask you guys this. Is he actually?
I think last year he was 100%, but this year, no, I think LeBron James. And it's not even the narrative like, oh, LeBron James is however many years in the league and he's an old guy putting up these numbers, but I think LeBron is the best player in the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean like MVP because it makes sense regular season why he won MVP, but in terms of we now have 2 years in a row where he had the best regular season team and there's no proof of concept for him getting it done in the playoffs. So I don't know. What do you think, buddy? Who's your best player?
I'm going with LeBron too.
Still LeBron?
Yeah,
all right.
100%.
Okay.
LeBron.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
No Kawhi.
No, not Kawhi.
Not Kawhi. All right.
Not this year.
Not
this year.
Okay.
I just don't see him. I don't see Kawhi. I mean, he has a championship under his belt.
Yeah.
Because the Warriors. two of their best players got injured. But I don't see Kawhi leading a team like LeBron can lead a team. You know, like if you put Kawhi on the Lakers without Anthony Davis, or let's just say without Anthony Davis, would Kawhi take him somewhere? I think LeBron could.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
So what was like the top 5 like people that ended up for like the MVP?
I can try to look
it was definitely Giannis, LeBron. Was Kawhi up there? Was James Harden up there?
James Harden,
Harden
Anthony
had it.
Davis, and Luka.
Luka.
So yeah, LeBron's still
Kawhi at 6 though. Luka above Kawhi. What do we think?
What was
about
Paul
that?
George? Is it Paul George?
probably not there.
No.
Not even in top 10.
Wow.
They've got Lowry over him too.
I think I don't know the Kawhi being over Luka. That's I don't know.
It's just, I mean, Luka probably played how many more games than Kawhi, though? That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, I mean, Luka was just as good.
But he was injured quite a few games this year as well. Luka,
That's true.
That ankle was still bothering him.
That's true. No, I'm excited for the Mavericks in the coming years as well.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a good-ass team. Let's talk about your Miami Heat, though. So we talked about the Bucks and the problems that they encountered during their series. And Miami, I mean, this is really... I've been on the record. I'm not the biggest fan of Jimmy Butler and Jimmy Butler's playing style. He proved me wrong in this series, at least. And, I mean, I'm still not completely convinced, as we'll discuss, in their series against Boston in the conference finals. But, I mean, this team really proved it's a collective over, the Bucks' depth. They had a lot of three-point shooting on the outside from Duncan Robinson, former Michigan man, up over there. Lights out shooter, Tyler Hero, big rookie pick in the lottery there. It's Buddy's guy. And, Bam Adebayo, obviously supporting Jimmy Butler was a really big thing over the Bucks, excuse me. So, and I thought that was really interesting just to see that a lot of people I've heard talk about the Miami collective identity, under Pat Riley and stuff like that, the culture, but it really showed here, especially led by Coach Spo there, just outclassing Bud for sure.
No, yeah, I agree. Like they definitely built a culture there. There's something like when people say, "Oh, the Heat culture," there's definitely a culture there. Pat Riley loves Spoelstra, and he trusts him, and Spoelstra just trusts his players and the culture they built there. I don't know. I don't think they're, like you said, with Jimmy Butler, and they're too young of a team for me. Obviously, they have some vets, but overall, so they have their starting lineup has like Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic, which Goran Dragic's a vet and he'll hold it down. But then there's just, I don't know, they need more experience in my opinion.
But how much credit do we give to head coach of Miami for getting it this far with what he's working with?
Oh, no,
yeah.
No, 100%.
Spoelstra's,
You don't make it top
he has a
four.
resume for
No,
sure.
at the beginning of the season, I didn't think he would make it this far. But at the beginning of the bubble, yeah. But at the beginning of the season, there was no way anyone thought like, oh yeah, the Heat are going to be in the conference finals.
They were doing pretty well, like the whole season. I feel like they had a solid season this whole year. From the beginning, they were. I thought personally they were showing that they had great potential. But Miami went 2-1 against the Celtics this year. Got blown out in their first meeting in December 4th, 2019. Put up a great fight. Second game, only lost by 8. But then Miami won their last game, August 4th, when they just got to the bubble.
Yeah.
Really?
Versus the Celtics, yes. What do you guys think?
About like just the matchup and stuff?
The matchup. Let's go player by player, matchup by matchup. What
Well,
do you think?
okay, go ahead, Zach.
No, I know Sal knows what I'm going to say here. I mentioned I'm worried about Butler.
Yeah.
I'm worried about him against this Celtics team because Butler he's a big shooting guard. He's a big wing, and he's been able to get his as the number one focus for the Heat offense. But Boston is the team that has 3 different grade A wing defenders in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the ultimate pest that we all hate, Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Very effective player, but still, I'm just worried that in terms of that matchup, it's like Sal kind of mentioned, like the team is young and they've performed well. Heroes performed well. Duncan Robinson has performed well. And especially Bam, I think we were talking about, before we started this, is that the Celtics' weak point is Daniel Tice.
Yeah.
So if Bam shows up and plays well, I mean, that's awesome. But as we've even seen with players like Giannis, sometimes they just don't deliver in the postseason yet. I don't think anybody would blame the Heat players for doing that. Like, Tyler Hero's a rookie. Duncan Robinson's in his third year? Very young.
Isn't he? He's not a rookie.
Robinson?
Robinson, no.
No.
I don't think so.
He's in his second or third year.
Either way,
yeah.
really young.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm worried about the fact that if Butler gets, clamped down by Brown or Tatum, what happens, and especially if Smart is on, like, Tyler Hero. What does Tyler Hero do against a grade A defender in Marcus Smart. And that's just going to be a question for the series.
The key player for the Miami Heat this series with the Celtics is Bam.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, and the Heat also we've seen they live and die by the three, 100%. Everybody on their team has to be able to shoot the three when called on, and some players have delivered. I know Jay Crowder in their last series, he was shooting as well as Klay Thompson was back with the Warriors. He was just on fire. So they have the potential. If they're hot, they're definitely have the potential to be the Celtics. But they have really good days and really bad days. They don't have an all right day. The Celtics have a lot of all right days and they can still pull out a win. But I don't think the Heat have those days. They either have a good day or they're horrible.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Buddy, what do you think?
For this series, I'm just reading up a lot about Gordon Hayward and whether or not he's going to hop in.
That's a good point.
Because I'm hearing that's a pretty crucial part of the series.
Think they'll make him better?
The Celtics, definitely.
Since he hasn't been playing.
No,
I guess.
You're right. Well, yeah, you're right. He hasn't been playing. I know he left the bubble early because of family stuff. His wife was pregnant, I believe, so he had to leave for that. And then he came back and played the Sixers, and he messed up his ankle. So yeah. But then he's been out for 4 weeks, but he's due to play now. And I saw that the coach Brad Stevens said that he's ready to play. So he's ready to play. He's definitely gonna come. He's definitely gonna come in this series. They just don't know whether it'll be Game 1, Game 2, Game 4, but he's definitely going to be in and definitely provide a boost for the Celtics.
But he's hurt now. He's an ankle sprain.
He was hurt, but his timetable, he's ready to go. It's been the 4 weeks. So like you said, will he be ready though? Because he hasn't been playing. He hasn't been playing playoff basketball, and to throw him into the Eastern Conference Finals, just all right, let's go. Will he be performing at a high level? I don't know.
4 weeks for an ankle sprain, though?
Yeah.
The way these NBA players just up and down the court the whole time, I think an ankle sprain's a pretty big deal. You need a little bit more than 4 weeks to get off that.
We can talk about what the Raptors were doing to contain Kemba Walker. Do you think the Heat will probably try to do that too? A triangle and one, boxing one.
Yeah, Kemba. He's a problem. And a problem in a bad way for Boston, I think. He just doesn't look like himself coming over, and it's almost in spite of him that they beat Toronto. The thing that Toronto had was those guards though, Van Fleet once again. The Drake lookalike. Yeah. Just a pest there, and I'm not sure defensively if Miami has a guy like that as a guard. I know Kendrick Nunn plays as guard there.
The rookie.
Yep. And he's pretty good on that defensive end, but I'm not. You guys could inform me. I'm not necessarily sure if they have a guard in that mold like that. And Kyle Lowry too. Sal, we can give you some time for Kyle Lowry for your Kyle Lowry takes. I know you do.
Wait. You guys are discrediting Dragic's potential. He's
on the defensive end.
You're right about the defensive end, but offensively, Dragic.
Yeah.
You could put him up there. He scored 55 years back, but
he's definitely a vet. He knows obviously what he can't do physically. He makes it up for his knowledge and mental. He knows the ins and outs. But I don't know if that'll be enough. To get up and down the floor and keep up with these players.
Yeah. Him and Bam will be the key because I think Boston, no question, is going to win on the wings in terms of just Brown, Tatum, and Smart to throw them at him. So, but if Dragic is a win over Kemba, offensively, whatever, and it's very likely that's possible with how Kemba's looked. Mm-hmm. And if Bam can be a big playmaker, in the post and at the elbow and even outside the 3-point line, luring Tice out of there, that's Boston's biggest weakness to me is they have no center. Because then they can't play Enes Kanter defensively. Yeah. He's a disaster defensively. Mm-hmm. So they can't play him either.
And, the other thing is, the Celtics, they played horrible against the Raptors. Credit to the Raptors, they're the second team in half-court defenses, so they know what they're doing.
Yep.
But they shot horribly, and they still managed to pull off a win in that series. So people are gonna say, "Oh, look how the Celtics played with the Raptors. They have no hope against the Heat." But you gotta keep in mind that the Raptors are way better defensively than the Miami Heat.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown especially was having a rough time shooting from three in that series. So, but that's too where it's going to be an interesting battle not only with the players but the coaches too. We were talking about Spoelstra earlier, and I'm sure ever since they eliminated the Bucks, he was thinking about either one of these two teams and how to match up with them defensively. And he won't be Bud. He'll definitely adjust mid-series. But then again, you have Brad Stevens, who you could argue is just as good. Both these guys are top 5 coaches in the league right now. So, that battle, too, by Game 4, what are we going to be seeing if the series is 2-2, knotted up, something like that?
No, you're right with Spoelstra, because he definitely has more under his belt than Stevens.
Yes.
So, you're right about being able to, make changes when he needs to.
Yeah, for sure. Are we ready for predictions?
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
I think you're up, Zach.
Okay.
Being ahead.
I'll take Celtics in 6. I just think I think the guard depth's going to be too much. The wing depth. And I think personally, a lot of this comes down to, especially in the bubble, who is the best player in the series. And I think Tatum's going to outclass Jimmy Butler. Here's a conversation we can do before we do picks. Would you take Tatum or Butler?
Tatum.
To start a team or to win a championship? What do you want?
You can do either one if it's a different answer.
What do you think, buddy?
To lead a team, I'd say Jimmy Butler. If I wanted to pick someone right now, though, and develop that player, Tatum's already.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Another level, I'd pick a Tatum.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Butler, he can get into people's heads, and I think
definitely.
if he can, I guess, lock down Jason Tatum Game 1 or try to get in his head, it'll affect him for the rest of the series, Jason Tatum. So that'll be big. We'll see how first game goes, and I think that's what's going to determine the whole series, that Game 1.
Yeah, for sure. Buddy?
Taking Jimmy Butler.
That's a homer pick.
Yes, it is.
You want to add anything onto that?
I don't know enough about
Tatum?
Yeah,
That's
to
fair.
really say anything, but like he said, I think Jimmy Butler can get in people's heads.
I think Tatum, he's been in the league
This is his
third
year.
I think he has more Eastern Conference experience now than Jimmy Butler.
But if we look at, going back to Jimmy Butler trying to get into people's heads, T.J. Warren was averaging 38 a game, and then Jimmy Butler comes in.
It's T.J. Warren.
Gets in his head. But look at his numbers in the bubble, and then when
you're
Jimmy
right.
Butler starts guarding him, it's.
Well, when you say pick a player, I'm picking Jimmy Butler because he can get in people's heads, but I think he can also he has full confidence in this Miami team.
Oh yeah.
He can lift up a team and make them have the confidence to go into.
You're right. I'm not a Jimmy Butler hater like Zach is, but I just like Tatum just because he's younger, and I don't know. It's definitely depends what Eric said. There's two different answers. If you want a player for the next 10 years, it's going to be Tatum, but if you want someone now, it's probably going to be Jimmy. But I don't know. It also depends the team you have around them.
Right.
A lot of things.
Well, was Tatum the one with the really ugly shoes these past 2 games?
He's the one with the ugly beard you don't like.
Oh, okay. The scrappy one?
I think so, yeah. The one that doesn't connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still goes long on the front. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler all the way there.
One of our friends said he's cute. I remember in the group chat.
Who said that?
Well, I'm not going to say who. I don't want to call him out.
Can you give us a hint? Can you give us a hint?
Oh, the person that always talks about basketball players.
All right, so
yeah.
No exposing on the pod.
She's interesting.
Oh,
Has not been on the pod.
So we're making up.
But we're not going to talk about how ugly Marcus Smart is, though?
What kind of... Yeah, he's
Maybe we should call her. She can weigh in now with some of this stuff. Hey.
This is base who's going to win this series off the looks.
Off the looks and
probably
style.
What she does. She probably ranks them 1 to 10, starting lineup of what she likes, adds them up. All right, so I have the Celtics in 6. That's what I'm going with.
I think Celtics in 5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, no. Miami in 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sticking with him. Miami in 7.
Damn. Okay.
So yeah,
I want a fun series.
I do think if Miami's gonna win, it's gonna be in 7. There's no way they win it in 5 or 6. They're gonna win. It's gonna
Game 1. Who's doing it?
I think Heat are gonna win Game 1, and the Celtics are just gonna lay it down the next 4 games.
I think without Hayward, I think he take 1. I don't think he's playing game 1.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
I think once Hayward comes back, depending on how many minutes they give him.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna affect the Celtics. I
No,
just
you're
don't
right.
think he's gonna be ready.
Yeah, because like just throwing that player in.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing
Mentally
pretty good
and-
without him. These guys are making chemistry, and
No,
then
you're
throw
right.
Hayward back in there.
I mean, Marcus Smart is playing all-star level basketball right now.
No, yeah, he's
100%. He's.
before this playoffs. I didn't think he was much of a scorer, but he's been putting up numbers.
I don't know if that's because of I don't know their stats before this past series with the Raptors. I don't know if it was because of that triangle with that boxing one they were doing with Kemba, so leaving Marcus Smart available to make plays, shoot more.
Yeah,
But definitely.
Boston 1.5 point favorites for
For game
Tuesdays
one?
for game one for
Oh,
Tuesday.
it's gonna be a good game.
It's very close.
Yeah.
Very close. I do wonder how the bubble rest will do for Miami because they've been off for a while, and obviously Boston went to a game 7. Because even their series just started earlier too, right?
Yeah.
Because Toronto's I don't know. I can't remember why. It just felt like it ended super early. Miami series with Milwaukee. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. They've been off for at least a week.
They've been off for a week.
Haven't it been a week?
On Tuesday,
Five.
that would be a week.
Oh yeah, they closed it on Monday. Yeah, they closed it on Monday.
Okay, there you go. So,
Yeah.
all right, so we'll be a week. So that'll be interesting. Well, with not much to do in the bubble, how they look. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just excited for a close series. So these two teams are really talented. We'll see.
Game 7, that would be just a fun, especially
Oh
the
my
history of those
gosh.
two teams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's a lot of back in the LeBron days and the
Yes, Jason Terry, right? Famous dunk.
Yeah.
It was over him.
even before then, like when Paul Pierce and
Yes.
like
Garnett.
LeBron.
Paul Pierce
Garnett.
would be better than LeBron right now if he was in the league. He'd be averaging 50.
All right,
You big Paul Pierce guy?
No.
No.
Remember what he said? I don't know
he
if you
thinks
saw that
so.
quote. No.
Paul Pierce is always saying these things.
Well, that's like Kendrick Perkins now on the NBA thing.
Best center of all time.
That's what he thinks, apparently. He's like, it's me, then Kareem. That's what he says.
God.
Magic Johnson, distant third in terms of Kendrick
Distant
Perkins
third.
rankings. No, that's some of those NBA on there guys. You were just talking about Skip Bayless, right? He's just
Oh, yeah.
like he's all in on Denver winning Game 7. You see
Yeah.
that expert transition right there?
Yeah, he said.
Um,
oh yeah, that was good. That was
Yeah,
good.
see that transition right there? And I was just like, Skip just gets paid to say that they're like, find the most ridiculous take today. It's like, got it. Can already figure it out.
I mean, that's what's going to bring views, and views brings money. So that's what they're telling them to do.
That's what we've seen all year. So today we're recording this. We had a perfect time set up. It's around 7 o'clock on Sunday. Thinking, Game 6, Clippers Nuggets was this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. And, Clippers would close it out, choked in game 5, but they closed it out, and they didn't.
They choked again.
The Nuggets won again. The Lakers bench did not come through, or Clippers, bench did not come through.
Wow.
And now we're going to a Game 7 on Tuesday. So don't kill us right now. We're recording this. If the Clippers lose, I mean, like I said, Nuggets will get crushed. But however, we're just going to assume, Clippers go through Game 7, right? We all have Clippers in Game 7?
I don't.
No, you think Jokic will pull it out?
Yeah.
The Pillsbury Doughboy?
100%.
I think Clippers close it out. There's just no way.
no way.
There's no way.
But they said that this series wouldn't even go to Game 7.
Just in
Yeah,
general?
Everybody said that.
That's
No,
true.
you're right.
No, you're
The
right.
Clippers are going
Yeah,
to run
no.
through the Nuggets. Now they're in Game 7. I think if anybody said that the Nuggets were going to win, it was going to be in 7.
Clippers are 7-point
Spread on
favorites.
that.
Seven.
7 points.
7. So, I mean, if you like that, maybe you should sprinkle some money over
Maybe
there.
I should. I don't have the money to lose though.
But-
So.
Smart.
You said if Nuggets happen to beat the Clippers and play the Lakers, you think Lakers going to beat them 4-0?
Probably 5. I mean, LeBron's got to take some time off.
First
Like,
game.
it's Game 3, he'll take it off.
First game back in December 22nd, 2019. Nuggets beat them by 24 at LA.
Okay.
I know that has nothing to do with anything in the bubble, but it still shows that they can beat them in a
Yeah.
You're right.
different atmosphere.
I just think, I don't know, like the Nuggets, Jamal Murray's really had a come out party.
Then, second game, Lakers at Nuggets. Lakers only won by 4 in overtime.
Yeah.
And then third game, Lakers won by 3. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be a close
Could be.
series.
It'd just be interesting to see how they do Anthony Davis and Jokic if they do. end
Who's
up
gonna
winning.
guard if the Nuggets make it to the Western Conference Finals? Who's gonna guard Jokic or
Jokic?
Anthony Davis.
I would think Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah, and that's a lockdown.
True.
I think that's the one team that like they have the answer because
Yeah.
Jokic is so good because he's 6'10", but he plays outside. He doesn't play at the center, like in the center of the court usually.
Yeah, so you're right. That's like
Because Davis is the only guy who can really defend on the perimeter just as well as he can at the rim.
so that kind of makes sense why the Clippers are kind of struggling to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zubac had 2 points today, I will say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, because Jokic is, playing decent. And obviously, Jamal Murray, coming out party for him this postseason. He
Yeah.
really has been a Oh yeah, that's where I think if the Nuggets do make it, they could give the Lakers problems because the Lakers guard depth is absolute garbage.
I don't know.
I was reading stories that they're happy Rajon Rondo's back, and I'm like, nobody should be happy Rajon Rondo's back.
Caruso is probably one of the best point guards of all time.
You saw his block?
Caillou? That's what he looks like.
His block last night?
Yes.
No,
He had a huge block
I don't
on
think
Harden. On Harden.
He had he had a huge 3.
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah, that was huge.
That was big.
No, but you're right. They like their guards. Like, come on now.
Yeah. I was listening to the Ryan Russillo podcast about Harden, and he said he did some things like Harden literally looks like, like all the shots he takes in the regular season. He tries to do in the postseason. He's like, why are you guys trying so hard? Like in the regular season, I just shoot this and I make a bunch of shots. And this is how I play.
That's funny.
And postseason doesn't do that. But yeah.
I was disappointed in Harden this past series against the Lakers.
It's crazy because he came out and said they're a piece away, but
No.
he I don't know why he doesn't say like I need to go and improve myself. He is a piece they need to like pull through. He's
It's crazy. We're saying he's the piece, but last game scored like 30 plus, right?
yeah,
It's
but
like
it's
defensively.
yeah.
Detrimental.
Yeah.
It's like he needs to like be a complete player. He's the pieces they have. Like you said, he needs to be offensively, defensively. Like you see all these the Raptors last year.
Yeah.
Kawhi was the piece. He could do it offensively. He could do it defensively. And like on the Lakers, LeBron could do it offensively. He can do it defensively.
Yeah, and his off-ball stuff too, offensively as well. Because Harden with the ball is one of the most terrifying offensive players in history. I mean, just in terms of his athleticism, his ability to get to the free throw line, his step backs. But when the ball gets put in Russell Westbrook's hand, he stands there. He stands there and does nothing. It's like me playing pickup when I want to break. I'm just like, you guys got this one.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that.
Yeah, it's like, where is it? And it's been so present for 5 years now. So, I don't know. Here's a question, and it relates to Harden. Then we can move on to the Lakers, obviously, with the future. How many guys, do you think you could win an NBA title with Harden? Harden's your first guy. Because I think the actual, people say like, oh yeah, superstar, like obviously won an MVP. But I think the actual number of guys that you could win a title with as your number one option is much smaller than people think.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, and for me the answer is no. Not with Harden as being your first guy.
I don't think so.
I think he needs the weapons. He's only played with Kevin Durant.
Just Kevin Durant.
And then Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, but they were
baby.
But
baby
still,
Thunder,
they made it pretty far now.
I mean, yeah, they
To the
finals.
They made it to the finals.
And
They
lost to the Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they could, given the right weapons.
I think I think just a little take on that. All that team built a bunch of I don't know, quitters. I feel like if they would have stayed with Kevin Durant over here, the snake that needed to go to the Warriors.
Who was the coach back then for the?
It was Scott Brooks, right?
Yeah, Scott Brooks. Yeah.
He was a good coach too. It's just like
I think those teams.
All three of those players. They were their ego.
Impatient. Yeah, they're impatient. They all should have stayed.
Yeah,
okay, we can go on.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, it was just a thought that popped up to me because I don't know, I'm going through the list in my head. I'm like, there's probably only 10 guys that I think could win an NBA title on their own right
10?
now.
I wouldn't
all time.
Or like as the number one option. So we have proof of concept with Kawhi and LeBron. They've done it. They could still do it. I would say AD could. If he was on his own team, he's not. But just saying,
he was on the Pelicans and didn't do it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but look at the Pelicans roster. I'm not saying on their own they're doing a 40-20 every night.
I'm
saying number one option I think someone like Luka. Luka will be able to do that. But right now,
2 or 3.
But right now Dallas isn't good enough for that.
Correct.
So that's what I'm saying in the right circumstance. I don't think part of me thinks if you need a better player than Harden for Harden to win a title. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Harden's not there mentally. I don't know why. He's he can score like no other, but I feel when the going gets tough, he's like, all right, screw it. Eric was telling me I didn't watch the game, but one of the other games with the Lakers, he just quits. When it gets tougher, he's just like, all right, someone take over now. And when Zach's saying you need that one guy that when it's tough, he's like, okay, I'm gonna light it up. It's oh, I'm down. It doesn't matter who else is on the team. I need to light it up for my team. I don't think he's that guy.
But he's literally by himself.
Russell Westbrook
dropped 10 points.
Yeah, but
10 points.
So
well, you're not going to get me to say a nice thing about Russell Westbrook. So I will sit out of this. You got to defend Russell Westbrook. So
I mean, I think Russell Westbrook was one of the best players in the league like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He won an MVP.
He did.
Yeah. So like
They gotta get him out of there.
But like how many times can you do that? Like, do you think it's probably Harden the issue? You can't keep saying, "Oh, it's time to get someone Harden, get him out of there, get someone else with Harden." Back then, it was like obviously Chris Paul was a different time of his game. He was like on the end of his career, but he was with Harden, and then it was like, "Oh, you need to get Chris Paul out of there. He's not working."
Chris Paul almost beat the Rockets as well.
Chris Paul to the Lakers. Mark my words.
There'd be some interesting cap dynamic there. I saw the Knicks. I'd be like, what? That'd be so bad if they sent him to the Knicks.
Nope. Antetokounmpo to the Knicks. Chris Paul to the Lakers.
That'd be. I mean, New York Knicks are like salivating.
Yeah, I hope.
That'd be awesome.
I want the Knicks to like become a team. Everyone's.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a Knicks fan by any means. I don't care, but like I just for like the culture of the NBA, I want the New York Knicks to be a team in the playoffs and be competitor.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you on that. So yeah, I don't know. Like we're kind of talking about. We're watching the NFL game as well in here, and Tom Brady just missed Mike Evans by 15 yards on a 2-point conversion. He's done, I'm sorry, I just saw him. Like he's done 3 of those today. So
he needs his glasses.
We might have some NFL takes coming up in a couple of weeks here with Tom Brady in Tampa.
Oh boy.
We're not gonna talk about the NFL. I'm gonna get sad after the Lions' performance this week. What I was going to ask, though, is Mike D'Antoni's already out as Rockets coach. We can wrap up the Rockets here. So what do? Do you try to trade Russ? That contract's a terrible contract to trade. $40-something million a year. You're not getting rid of Harden. You can't. I don't know what else you do there with it. I mean, does Daryl Morey leave? I think Daryl Morey's a great GM, and I would be ecstatic if the Pistons hired him. But has this thing run its course in Houston? Do we need a hard reset here and just see what Harden does for the next 5 years?
But like you said, it's going to be hard to trade away Westbrook. I don't know where you would trade him. I don't know which team would be able to take on his contract. Magic. Yeah, I don't know who you're going to trade him for. Like, it's so difficult.
Mo Bamba, straight up.
Mo Bamba.
Straight up. Oh, and I think, too, like, the other thing I was thinking of was, like, so the Harden mostly plays this way because of D'Antoni, right? Like, that's his system.
Yeah.
This is the system. So is a new coach going to come and be like, yeah, Harden, you're not doing this anymore? Like, but that's what he loves to do because the ball's in his hand all the time.
Didn't they try, like last year? Maybe I'm wrong. Like, they tried something where Harden wasn't shooting the ball at all. He was just passing it. I feel like they did. Maybe I'm...
But then again, that's the thing where he would sit in the corner, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't move. So I don't know. We're spending too much time on Houston. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. They're gonna be middle of the playoffs for the next decade of those contracts anyway. So let's talk about the LA Lakers. You can look it up in the feed. I've been on the Lakers since February. I'm feeling pretty good right now about the LA Lakers. I almost said my Lakers. I guess I kind of feel like I've bonded to them right now. The Pistons are so bad this season. LeBron and AD, there were some nerves. You're going against Dame in the first round, obviously with the Blazers. And they came out and basically just kicked Houston's ass in 5 games, took care of business and stuff like that. Where are we with the Lakers? What do we think? Anybody?
Man, I think they can do it. I think they can win this year, but like, it's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be tough. They don't have besides LeBron, obviously, they don't have a player that can go penetrate and kick.
Oh yeah, penetrate.
Yeah.
And kick.
I mean, you want Caruso to penetrate and kick? Do you want? Rajon Rondo to give him space and hey, I'll let Rajon Rondo shoot the 3.
Yeah.
If my life depended on it.
I know we had podcasts earlier this year and even earlier this month, or last month, when we talked about it and we were still in on the Lakers and I was still on the Clippers. And I think I'm still in on the Clippers to make it to the finals.
Mm.
I just, because like, they obviously, Lakers have the 2 best players in Anthony Davis and LeBron James, but they don't have other players. Like, when LeBron James goes in, he needs to kick it out to somebody. Who's going to kick it out to? Rajon Rondo, Alex Caruso. That'll work 1 out of 5 times, or like even less, like 1 out of 10 times. But
you guys are underselling Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, right? Former top 10 draft pick. No,
wow.
I'm kidding. No, I agree with you guys 100%. And that's the issue is the guard play, and especially when if they play the Clippers, I mean, Pat Beverly is gonna I don't even know if he has to exert any effort to shut down Rajon Rondo, on the defensive end there.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's someone and it's so stupid. This is such a dumb statement to say, but it's true. That series is gonna flip on Danny Green, like somebody like that, because Danny Green is the only real 3-and-D guy the Lakers have, and they signed him from Toronto, of course, last year for this main purpose here. I mean, I just think you know, with like the Boston and Miami series, like I see like the advantages are clear, not. But what's going to be interesting if the Clippers and Lakers play is just the matchups. Like, who do you put LeBron in on defense? Who do you put Anthony Davis on Paul George? You put him on Kawhi. He could guard both. What do you do? And it's just going to be really interesting.
And the other way around too. Who guards Anthony Davis?
Yeah, does Kawhi? Because Kawhi wasn't guarding, you know, the top scorers for a while. Like Kawhi wasn't guarding Luka in their first round series. Do you put Kawhi on LeBron straight away? Like, there's just so many like rabbit holes you can go down with the matchups in this series that I think is what we've all been hoping for.
Yeah.
And unless the Clippers just don't mess this up against Denver, like we finally would get it, you know, in the conference finals. Buddy, what do you think?
I think, you know, we're just assuming the Clippers are taking this.
You're still in the
Buddy's still on the.
I'm still. I don't see how they sneak away from a Game 7.
So when you
with this big of an assumption that they're going to win.
So when you submit, well, this is just the recording schedule, man. Sometimes you got to take risks in the podcast industry. Once you start up your Supreme show, you'll understand.
Yeah. Hey, check for that.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do an ad for you. We'll run an ad for you.
I'll pay.
Yeah, okay. We sell them for $0.01, so you're good. No, I think you have a good point. I mean, Game 7 is 50-50. But so when you submit your pick, are you taking Denver in Game 7?
Yeah.
All right. So how's Denver? What do you think about Denver versus the Lakers? Then I guess we can just go around this. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers would beat Denver pretty easily?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So
I think if Denver was to do it, they force a Game 7 again.
Okay, so you think they're just a scrappy, but at the end of the day, they just don't really. All right, you like your Game 7s.
I do. They're fun to watch.
They're definitely on.
Why do I want to watch the Lakers beat the Nuggets in 4 games?
I mean, that's what would happen. So it's got to move. So all right,
I say that about the Clippers too.
I didn't say that about the Clippers. The Clippers to me, they're just a weird like. Someone put I forgot who it was, so don't like copyright me or plagiarize whatever. Somebody said on the internet, it's like they almost feel like a team of mercenaries, just kind of brought together, and they're still not a cohesive unit under Doc Rivers. You know, like Kawhi comes in, forces a trade for Paul George, which I think I gave out all my Paul George takes last time we were on. I'm still not sure he's a good. I mean, he's a good player, obviously, but like too many times he scores 30 points like he did today, then he'll do 10 points, and especially if he's getting guarded by someone like Anthony Davis, some of the time, like that's probably gonna happen a lot. I think in this series and. I think if we're going to do keys of this series like we did for the other one, I mean, Paul George, everything revolves around Paul George. Because I have no questions about Anthony Davis. I have no questions about LeBron James. Those guys will produce. I have questions about the guard depth, as Eric was highlighting earlier, you know, with Rondo and stuff. But I have questions, a lot of them, about Paul George and whether he can produce enough for LA to beat the Lakers.
You're right. Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Are we going to do predictions on this too?
Oh, we can, of course, if we want. You want to start, Eric?
Well, it's going to be weird for Buddy since he thinks Denver's going to...
I'll go with the Clippers.
You'll pretend the Clippers...
Okay, all right. So if the Clippers make it, you're going with the Clippers.
If the Clippers...
Play the Lakers.
No, I'm going with Lakers.
Okay. All right, there we go. Lakers over Clippers, you're sure. Final answer.
Lakers over Clippers, I'm looking for a
Game 7
4-1 series.
4-1.
I don't think that Kawhi is going to be able to take this team the distance.
All right.
I'm saying Lakers in 7.
I say Clippers in 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like for this series. I like Game 7.
Yeah, I go Lakers in 7 as well. I think it's a super tight series. These are the two best teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for your Heat, even if they beat the Celtics. I mean, I think they're gonna get slaughtered by an LA team.
So yeah, I think we can all agree on whoever Celtics or Heat, they're gonna get destroyed by the Lakers or Clippers.
But he's gonna be like Kawhi's gonna get 5 points.
I think if
Buddy thinks Tyler Hero's gonna win the Finals MVP.
I think an Eastern Conference team's going to win.
No way! Oh my god!
I just do. As much as
that'd be big.
I just do.
Yeah, the Celtics beat the Heat.
Does Kawhi stay if he doesn't win? If he doesn't get to the finals?
Yeah.
Can he opt out yet? Or is it after next year?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. I can't remember the contract.
Yeah, he'll be in there. Where else does he go? You know?
Does Paul George stay?
I don't know his
Maybe
contract.
does Kawhi trade Paul George? It's like I want someone else. No, it's going to be an interesting. I mean, this is what we've been hoping for, right? You know, these two teams are jockeying at the top of the West for the whole season. So, yeah. What other takes do we have? Do we have anything else we want to add on here?
I think I want to be held to this. Tyler Hero, Finals MVP.
Jesus Christ!
When he's holding up that when he's holding up that trophy, we're gonna do another Potter.
I wonder if there's odds on it. Let's see.
That would be amazing.
Wow.
I don't know.
You think Jimmy Butler gets it then?
I think Jimmy Butler shoots 3 for 20 against Anthony Davis. I think that's what happens.
I'm disappointed in this Lakers Rockets the way that worked out.
I know. That's what Houston does. Houston lays eggs.
Yeah.
Did you guys know actually that Tyler Hero worked out for the Celtics, and the Celtics like, oh, we like this kid.
Really?
We love this kid, and they were gonna pick him, but the
Coin flip.
the Heat had a pick sooner than the Celtics, and they picked.
Oh.
Have you heard the additional thing though? Bill Simmons talks about this, and it's
No.
hilarious. It was a coin flip for that pick.
Really?
They tied, and the Heat won the coin flip. It got to pick 13th, and Boston picked 14th.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that was even.
So that's
even
kind of
more-
a little take on this series too.
And like if he was on the Celtics, he would have been perfect on the Celtics team as
Yeah.
well. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
it's crazy, but maybe he'll make the difference. I don't know. Yeah, we might. I mean, if these go to Game 7, we're gonna have. I think we talked about we're gonna have a type of pod where we like give takes as the game's going.
I think if
Fun.
if Tyler Hero was on the Celtics, he'd be a completely different person.
Oh yeah.
Do you
Well,
think,
He probably wouldn't have dreads.
you think Tyler Hero will be better than Devin Booker?
No way. I saw the
Come
take.
on.
I saw that take, but there's no way.
Especially Devin Booker 8-0 in the bubble with the Suns. Come on, he took a step up.
How about Daniel House? Like, let's just talk about that for like a couple seconds.
Oh yeah, his situation.
Yeah.
I don't know this. I haven't heard about.
Oh, he
this.
had a whole wife, and he with an official, a female official, not a female referee,
A
but
CDC.
like one of like the COVID testing officials.
Oh,
He brought her to the room, and
Yeah.
wife found out, and
I didn't know he had a wife.
Yeah.
I found out about the story that Daniel House invited one of the CDC official like COVID people to come into his room, and you know
that's acceptable though, right? I mean, it's bubble.
well, it wasn't acceptable. I
No,
guess.
it's not
they
acceptable.
They kicked him out of the bubble.
But the craziest thing, Eric sent me this. He had a wife, so his wife found out on about this. So like his life is completely ruined now.
She got the ESPN notification like the rest of us.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I will add. I thought just bubble regulation that's acceptable, but obviously not acceptable in terms of marriage. I'm not that type of polygamy guy here.
I don't know. I think I saw something. I saw the comments on the thing. People were saying, "Isn't that allowed?" Since all these people are staying in the bubble, and they said that not everybody, not all employees are staying in the bubble. So this CDC person might have been someone that is not 100% in the bubble. Might be only staying in the bubble for a week. You know, I don't know.
Do we think Kawhi being so quiet as a leader is a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's an awful thing.
Well, that's a good thing. I don't know how he is
In the locker room?
in the locker room.
Nah, he's definitely quiet in the locker
That's what
room.
I'm
think
saying.
so? I
He's
don't
gotta be.
I think
Super
him
reserved.
being like as nonverbal as he is, I think that's bad for his leadership skills.
Yeah, I guess, but I think he's also a great leader because he learned it under Tim Duncan and Popovich.
Yeah,
Because he won a championship there, and then like even though his last championship against the Warriors team they were defeated even before they stepped in on the court. So some people won't give him as much credit for that win. I still think he had to have somewhat of a leadership to lead that team to a championship.
yeah. It depends how he is in the locker room because there's no problem with having that tight knit group, and then and you're a leader within that practice and stuff. We've all been part of sports teams, like we know that. And we never had to deal with press, of course. So then, if you bring in press, and he's just kind of like whatever, like we have our group, and they know I'm this, whatever, And maybe what if he here's a thought: what if he does it just to mess with people? What if inside the team he's like a really fun, has a ton of fun type of guy?
Well, they say that. They say he is.
And then when they do it up like a thing, maybe someone dared him to do it 7 years ago and it just stuck.
He's so good at that.
All his teammates say he's such a good guy to hang around with.
That's because they can't talk bad about him. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Kawhi's weird.
He's definitely a weird guy.
Yeah, I do want to know what his home life is.
Family structure and everything,
Yeah.
why he is.
Why he is so
Why
quiet.
he is Kawhi.
I just think that impacts the team's energy.
Personality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could
that's
be.
you're right.
LeBron's loud, verbal, gets the team hype. I don't see Kawhi coming out giving this whole, throwing the flower or the dust up in the air.
It was one thing in San Antonio with Tim Duncan and stuff like that. And in Toronto, when you have Kyle Lowry, who's the focus and heartbeat of that team, the Clippers don't really have a leader like
Verbal.
that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't.
It's a good point.
I don't see
Patrick Beverly.
Pat Beverly's like Kyle Lowry light. It's not. It's half there, I guess.
Well, like Sal said, he has got what? You got Clippers in 7, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see that energy. I don't see
He's
the
just
energy in a
killing
game
it.
7.
Game 7 energy from them now.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I just think LeBron's.
Hopefully,
got-
we see.
I hope.
Maybe in 2 weeks we'll have to do another one where we can specifically just do an hour on Game 7.
Yeah, we can talk about the Nuggets beating the Lakers now.
If that happens, I will. Yeah, that'd be crazy. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you guys for this. This was awesome. Ton of fun.
It was good.
Awesome.
See you.
Thank you.